столб, поднимающийся с земли, быстро увеличился в объеме. Увеличиваясь в размерах, облако медленно поднималось вверх. В своем конечном развитии, увеличиваясь в размерах...
Once again, the existential threat of nuclear war looms over our existence, and we suffer to endure the madness of political geriatrics in their endless pissing contest. With the word nuclear floating from the lips of newsreaders and into the homes of ordinary people, it's almost as if a ghost of the Cold War has come back to haunt our lives. Having been just over 30 years since the dissolution of the USSR and the assumed end of the Cold War, here we are again, thanks to remarks from Vladimir Putin with this generation's very own Cuban Missile Crisis, the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Yet many argue that the Cold War never really ended. It simply changed tactics from the potential open conflict to proxy wars, clashes of culture and economic tension. But like permafrost thawing to reveal all plagues in the earth, the evidence of the beast was always underneath, and dotted around the UK is evidence of the Cold War, if you know where to look. So today we are on our way to Formby Beach to look at a lost relic of the UK's involvement in the Cold War. And like a relic, it's buried underground. The ROC, better known as the Royal Observer Corps, built a little over 1,000 observer points all over the UK. Back in the 60s, when everyone was worried about nuclear war, these observation posts were built all over the UK to detect for nuclear blasts around the country. This one looks out over the North Sea. That's it there. Built in the 1960s, this observation post was normally manned by a crew of about 3 men. In this 15 by 8 foot square room right below my feet, this was all the room that they would normally have for about 3 weeks at a time. For weeks on end, these staff members would spend hours looking out onto the North Sea for possible incoming threats. So I'm currently sitting on the old foundations of an old World War II tower that was built before this bunker. It's now been demolished. And when it was demolished, the bricks that we used to build the tower were used to fill in this bunker so that no one could get in.
Are you both local historians or?
No, we're just filmmakers.
Look down, but when I was younger we used to come here and you could get inside and it's like literally this big, just like a little bunker underground.
Well, a mate of mine spent a night in it a while ago with the scouts. No, you're not going to get in there now. There's like a rumour that there's like more of them, aren't there?
Yeah. But, I mean, there was about like there's just over 1,000 of these around the UK.
Yeah.
Like, do you know much about it?
I know a bit. I just usually sit on it when they come down here.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
But well, how did it get here? Was it? I know it was built sometime in the 70s, but that's about it.
Yeah, I think it was 1963.
Built in 1962, next to a World War II observation post. Decommissioned in 66 to 68.
Yeah.
Due to erosion, environmental erosion made it
sound.
vulnerable to threat.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's kind of like money talks, isn't it? They kind of build it somewhere unstable because some pinstripe maniac tells them to.
Maybe, yeah.
Definitely.
But you'll know more about it than I do.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I don't think I would, to be honest. I think you, from what you're saying, you might know a lot more. You live in Formby, do you? I'm from Formby myself.
Oh yeah. Where are you from?
I'm from, originally I'm from Redgate.
Ah, I see.
What do you know about this?
Well, I know it kind of, it was built when they kind of had the nuclear scares. I think it was probably Cuban Missile, but I wasn't really that up on the time scale of things.
In the sort of Cold War era. Yeah.
And then they kind of built it here, and because like the ground's not stable, but nobody really paid any attention, it just kind of started sinking away.
Yeah.
And then it's just kind of been used for youngsters.
Yeah. Ever since.
Just to stay.
I mean, from what I'm aware of, it's built for observing out into the North Sea for possible blasts and threats. And like a 3-man crew would be based in here for weeks and looking for traces of bombs and threats and stuff like that.
There's a couple of buildings, aren't there, like dotted about. I used to think there was something to do with the second wall, but
Yeah.
by where that let's see, by where that White House is.
Yeah.
There's a bit past that. Yeah, just by where they go and tractors are. There's like a wall with like a small bunker in it.
Is that big massive wall, is that to do with it? Because I know where that is.
It might be. There's a few steps leading up as well, but I'm not sure if they're to do with the hotel they were going to build
Yeah.
or whatever, but it might be. But I'm no expert on this stuff.
Yeah.
I always thought it'd be like politicians and the wives.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's a shame that they filled it in though, because you can't get inside and film the stuff in there.
I thought it was just like layers of people going down it and stuff.
They just filled it with rocks. When I was younger, we used to go in there, and it was half filled with rocks already, but we could like get in there.
I think you had to
There wasn't
crouch down, didn't you?
Yeah, there wasn't really much in there. It was just rocks and rubbish. That's it, really.
It's like you get the odd dead seagull in it, I think, don't you?
Yeah, yeah. But it's cool though. It's like
nice.
it's a cool little old war monument, isn't it? You know where the police station is?
Oh yeah, down there.
Yeah, there was a house around the corner from there, and there was, I remember, my nan drove past it, and there was police everywhere. There was a bomb squad everywhere, and some fella was like gardening in his garden, and he dug up an old World War II bomb that like had dropped in Formby but never detonated, and they dug it up and found it in this guy's back garden.
Well, it's funny you mention it, because over there, like round about where I live, they were building, they were pile driving, and there was like rumours that they were unexploded bombs. So we're all sitting in the house, like turn the settee this way, and we're all sitting there like that every day, waiting for the thing to go off, and we're all gonna get all the windows are gonna blow out and all kinds.
They've found stuff like that a few times. Like there used to be guys on the beach of a night. Like they used to tell everyone in Formby and everyone in like the city and all the areas going up to the city of a night, make sure there's no lights on anywhere.
Oh yeah.
And what they used to do was they used to have like a team of people that would go out onto Formby Beach and they'd set fires on the beach, so the German aircraft flying over looking to bomb the city would fly over, not see any lights over the city, but then the lights that they would see would be like fires on Formby Beach. They'd think that would be the city, and then they'd just bomb the beach.
Well, blowhole.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Is that actually what that is? I remember people talking about that in school, but I never believed them because it's a massive crater, isn't it?
Well, people always said that like when I was younger, but I couldn't find any like records of it before 1940. So again, I kind of sort of know, but I sort of don't know.
Yeah.
But it's but the rumor goes, because it's all kind of like it doesn't look like it's eroded naturally because of the way that the soil's formed, where you kind of get the brown layer, which is where the trees were in it. So it actually looks like someone's just pile drived into it. And that's the story behind it. So
Yeah, it is very interesting.
Is this the bit that Keane was talking about?
Yeah, like below behind this sand dune here, there's like a big massive crater, and he was saying that it was done by like World War II bombs.
Yeah.
I always heard that in school, but like I never actually believed it because it's a big fucking crater.
Yeah.
But he was saying that actually did happen, which is mind blowing when you think about it.
Yeah.
That isn't it? All of that done by a bomb. Yeah, it's actually crazy how like these two sand dunes were just formed by like a big bomb going off. I think it must have been some big bomb. But it's crazy how it's like stayed like this over time. Even with the wind pushing the sand in, it's still, for like nearly 70 years, still stayed as a crater.
So what's this we're going to, Matt?
Now, Keane said this was supposedly another old Cold War bomb shelter. Don't really know how historically accurate that was. It just looks like a big wall to me with a room next to it, but I don't know. Maybe if we did some more research on it we could find out what it is, but Don't really know. Big wall, I'll tell you that. I don't really know what it is. Graffiti's cool though, isn't it?
It is very cool. So it's just one big wall.
It's just a big hole.
Just a big wall. I think it's mad that like this could be something related to the Cold War. It could be something just
Yeah,
nothing.
it could have been.
Yeah.
This wall could have gone all the way back here and it could have been a big facility or some kind.
Yeah. Or it could have just been part of the farmer's land.
Yeah, or it's just a big wall.
Or it's just a big wall.
So in the height of the Cold War, it was estimated that Liverpool would get, if it was going to get hit, it was estimated that Liverpool would be hit with about a 5 to 10 megaton weapon, presumably an air-burst weapon, which makes no sense, to be honest. You know, Liverpool's filled with civilians, always has been, from what I understand. You got the ports over in the Wirral, which have been building and were building warships at the time. But, you know, to completely level a city with a nuclear weapon full of non-combatants and civilians, it makes no sense to me. Even in today's day and age, you know, we're in 2022. Crazy to me how, you know, the world is still under the threat of nuclear war. I don't think there's ever been a point in human history where humans haven't been fighting each other, humans haven't been in conflict with each other. It's baffling to me, really. After the Cold War, I think that it never really ended. You know, there's always been that threat of that big red button being pushed and, you know, the human race as we know it coming to an end. And it's a grave threat to the whole of civilization, you know. It could end like that at, you know, one man's push of a button. But still, you know, one day one of these might come back into operation.
Yeah.
You know, they might unfill it and have to observe the North Sea again for any new nuclear blast. Let's go get a scrap.
Washington. The tests are a stirring climax to a 4-year program to mate the nuclear submarine and the intermediate-range ballistic missile. Its first H-bomb to join the United States and Russia as ranking atomic powers.
Marty wears a green cotton corduroy jacket and skirt ensemble with a Dutch cap. Susan's day will come, however, for Tom promises he'll help her improve.
In his long campaign of provocation and harassment, President Eisenhower broke off diplomatic relations with a message read by Press Secretary Haggerty.
ball against Antonio Gaines, a backup cornerback.
Nukes in the air, flying over.
Would I want to know?
Would you want to know ahead of time? Would you want that warning, or would you just rather just go blissfully ignorantly?
I think I'd want to know, because if I was like within the area where it's going to impact, I think that I'd want to say I was like in Formby,
Yeah.
and I got told that this was happening. I think I'd have a little 5 minutes of like sheer panic, but then I'd race to the beach to like watch it happen.
Yeah.
Even though it'd probably
yeah.
kill me, you'd die looking at something spectacular.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it was in the city, say I was in work and I seen it on the news, it'd be a bit of a different story, because like you're not gonna be seeing it, you're gonna be like in it. Do you know what I mean?
Course,
even though it is like instant death, it's just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. If I was able to see it and then it coming towards me, be a bit of a like spectacular death. Like, what's that film where the meteorites come into Earth and it hits Earth, and then the guy like goes to the beach with his daughter and the big massive tsunami comes? Something like that.
Yeah.
Cool death. But, you know, I'd rather it not happen.